Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on today's video. When's the last time you saw one of these? Now this is a pretty cool stat, and think about this for a second, because this is the Japanese making it into mainstream performance cars, and just making these great sports cars and things like that, competing against, right? Think about this, MG, Austin Healey, a lot of other brands out there. Those cars there are running somewhere in the 60 horsepower range, 70, maybe they even had 90 horsepower, right? A lot of those started life as tractor engines, which I don't hate them for that, but the difference is this here, we're talking about 2 liters, twin side draft carbs, and 135 horsepower, right? Not to mention great styling on here. Now this car here, we just finished the restoration on it, right? And it was completely taken apart, put back together, and it is beautifully, beautifully done. So come on up, let's look at the paint first, okay? So you can see how beautiful that is. All right, this is the original code for the car, which is silver gray metallic. We tried to restore the car very close to exactly the way it rolled off the showroom floor. This has 2 sets of wheels and tires. I had this custom 16-inch set of wheels and Redline radials built for it. So the Minilite replicas right here, or Panasports as I like to call them. Disc brakes right inside there, okay? Nice big disc brakes, because this car is pretty fast. And I wanted it to have some high-speed drivability as well, so throwing these tires on it changed the whole dynamics of the car. We have the original painted wheels and bias ply tires that came on the car, and they're really cool too, in case you want to take it to a show for it to be super, super authentic. So this is kind of cool. Like, check out the styling here. Got the call out here, Datsun. Now keep in mind, till the 80s, that's what the company was called, Datsun. It wasn't called Nissan, because Nissan sounded too close to Nippon. And if you remember during the war, World WW2, they were called, the slang was, and I'm probably shouldn't be using it, but Nippon short was Nips, okay? And they didn't want it to be close enough in sounding Nippon, Nips to Nissan. So that's why they called it Datsun until the 80s. And then this is a 2000, which is a call out for the size of the engine, 2 liters. And then again, power, power, power. You say, well, that doesn't sound like a whole lot of power, 135 horsepower, when today's car, you know, you can get a 500 horsepower Mustang. I agree. But this car also weighs less than 2,000 pounds, which is half the weight of some of the other cars, right? And once it's rolling, the corner speed of these cars is ridiculous. You don't have to get on the brakes till way later than any of the other supercars that are out there. This thing is so much fun to drive, and it's got great style. Let's take a minute, we're gonna walk around and look at it, okay? All right, so as we come up to the front right here, you got these great driving lights. We installed these here. They're not exactly super authentic. I just thought they looked nice. We could take them off if you don't love them. It was just a little touch that I added to the car with the tire upgrade, just so you could have this cool sports car you drive, and they work as well. This cool Ram air hood, the Datsun call out in front with the original piece like there. You got new bumpers, new stainless, new trim, new moldings. All right. So little stuff like, do the wipers work? Do the turn signals work? Do the headlights work? Yes, all of that stuff works for a reason, because that's the car I wanted you to be able to drive. I wanted this car to be turnkey, get in it and go for a drive and have an awesome, awesome time. All right, come around, let's look at the rest of the car for styling wise. Come back here, this is really a nice job that they did on this. The stacked lights, look at that, 3 stacked lights right here on both sides, pulling your eye away from, and they went ahead and they put the gas tank kind of in line with this here, so you wouldn't have to see it. The tag lights built into the bumper instead of adding another piece that's here. And we've put on a free flow exhaust, and if you want to check out this underneath, you can kind of see all the new parts, a beautiful detail. The frame is painted, shocks, suspension, wheels, tires, brakes, you name it. All of that stuff's been redone, and essentially you're getting, you know, as new a car as you could get, circa 1969, but 50 years later or 40 years later, okay? Let's take a peek under the hood, because this is really beautifully done. All right, come check this out. All right, so obviously this is all painted beautifully inside here, and yes, it's gorgeous, and the engine is detailed. The engine's just been rebuilt, the transmission was rebuilt, the rear end was rebuilt, all right? The wiring system in the car is new, the brakes are new, the correct coating underneath the hood here, what they call a sound deadener, is in there, and then that's painted over so it looks correct. Has a correct radiator in it, pulleys, overflow tank, all right? And even here, it's got some Japanese letters on it to kind of tell you this right here would let the pressure out of the cap, which is a pretty good idea. You know, we used the flip lever. Their idea was to push this and let the pressure out, and then you could take the cap off if you needed to while the car was hot. Dual master cylinders. You know, they didn't have those back then for a lot of cars. They had a single master cylinder. This has dual master cylinders, so if one master cylinder or one set of brakes goes out, you still have a backup set, all right? Here's the original tag right here. telling you the engine number, which is correct inside the car. It tells you the car number, okay? 4,399, and keep in mind, they didn't build a lot of these cars. They maybe only built, I'd have to look up the number to be exact, but somewhere around the 6,000 mark, depending on the year that these were produced, these Datsun 2000s. That's a really low number when you think that MG probably sold 30 or 40,000 cars that year, right? Or Camaros, they sold 500,000 Camaros that same year. 500,000, this is one of 4,000. Really low production number. But beautifully detailed in here. Twin side draft carburetors, plenty of air to get in, and this thing just sounds great going down the road. Let's check out the trunk. And the reason I wanted to check out the trunk with you is after I spent a lot on the chroming of a lot of pieces and things like that, I wanted to finish the detail of the trunk. So this is all done. I had this piece of carpet made for it as well that matches the front carpets. It comes in a set of mats of 4. Obviously this is a 2-seater, so you wouldn't have put those mats in there. The one thing I did want to show you is that you get this nice restoration book. I'll finish putting it together because it has a lot of receipts and things like that. But it has all kinds of parts in here, tips, tuning things, and what have you, as well as stacks and stacks of receipts and other places to get parts for these cars because they've now become very popular, so they're not that difficult to get parts for. This right here would hold the spare tire down. You just need to figure out what kind of spare tire you want in here. Do you want one to match like that? Do you want the original spare tire in here? Not really sure what you would like, but you can get that. New weather strippings all throughout the car. We didn't put any of the old parts back on, and that's why you get things like that seal, like that. So it fits those really nice. Let's check out the inside here. This is nice too because I'm going to tell you, because I'm 6'1", and I have plenty of room in here. Plenty of room, which is really nice. So everything restored. New dash. The dash was totally done for us. That was very expensive to have that redone. New carpets, seat covers, foam, trim around here. I had the original AM radio. Do you know this radio right here costs $1 gazillion? And the reason why? Because it's specific for this car. And the way it goes up and down like that to fit it into the smaller console, because if they put it in a regular console, it would have made the console too big. The console would have stuck out to here, and you wouldn't have the kind of room that you have inside the car. So they were pretty serious about some performance here. 8,000 RPM tach, 160 mile an hour speedometer, full gauges here as well. Got a clock, we talked about the radio, and if you wanted to, what I would probably do is recommend to you that we go ahead and we put an AM FM digital sound system inside the glove box right there. That'll give you the ability to get an iPod, satellite radio, stuff like that, and not cut up and clutter up the dash, and would look really cool in there. So this is kind of cool. This sticker right here is original. We didn't replace that sticker, and I just wanted you to see it. It held up really well, which gave us a good indication of what we were getting when we got the car. And I think with the red interior with the silver, it is spectacular. How about I start the car for you so you can hear what it sounds like, because it does sound wonderful. Take a second just to show you what it looked like with the top up. So we had this top custom made in this color, right? And it looks great. One nice thing about it too is I'm trying to give you an idea that this is a real world, reliable daily driver if you wanted it to be, all right? And keep in mind too, like it has rain gutters built into the convertible top. A lot of people don't order those special pieces so that when you open the door, right, all the water that's here, if you're caught in the rain, doesn't roll down all onto your leg as the first thing that happens. And like I said, this is brand new. Probably needs to be in the sun to stretch out a little bit. But it's the cool thing about it is I love the red line tires on it with the top and interior. It is just one cool car. You know, in closing up the video, we talked about a lot of stuff, but all that other stuff talked about, we restored this car. I feel it's a really nice example of an excellent car to begin with. So Datsun 2000, 2-liter, 135 horsepower, 5-speed close ratio transmission when cars back in the day only had a 4-speed. The upgraded wheels and tires, disc brakes, the free flow exhaust, the red interior. I mean, it's just a beautiful car. And again, we talked about real world daily drivability, and this could be that car as well. As you know, the Japanese cars were known for their reliability back in the day. And in this case here, probably lives on forever that way. I don't know if you could find some way to drive it every day, cool. If you just wanted to be in your collection and take it out on the weekends, cool too. If you want to take it to a show or whatever, comes with 2 sets of wheels and tires. Awesome piece. Anyway, call us 301-816-1000. We'll tell you all about this Datsun 69 2000 Roadster.